Is that okay? How's the sound? Are we good? No distractions? Alright, good morning guys, this is Chris here from the Amp Life, and welcome to today's vlog. So I've been away for quite a while, and I've had a bit of an up and a down experience over the past month. But firstly, apologies for not posting more regular videos. The last video I posted was my walk in Moab, my hike, to talk about give you guys a few tips about hiking, and hiking out to Corona Arch, which was a very special experience for me. In fact, the whole experience out in Moab was very special, spending time in canyonlands, in arches, and going out to Fisher Towers, which I'll get back to a little bit later, which was a special experience for me. So what I want to talk about today is the power and the price of positivity. So I was wondering if you guys, like me, once in a while you find yourself sinking into a darkish space, you know, something like it's the feeling of depression, or maybe just feeling a little bit down, and really struggling to get out of that space and trying to figure out just what the hell happened. How did I get myself into this place, and what am I going to do to move out of it again? So today I'd like to talk about what happened, what I felt, and what I did to get out of that space again, with a hope that I can pass something like that on to you guys. And hopefully at some point, if you find yourself coming from a very good space, or maybe even a bit of a high, and sinking down into a bit of a darker space, maybe you can find something that I found that might be helpful to get out of that space again. The reason I'm out here is it's a very beautiful space. I suppose in a way you can call it a happy space for me. It's out in nature, it's calm, I can hear the birds, I can hear the Egyptian geese going, I can hear the guinea fowl, and yeah, that all contributes to getting me into a really good space. Right, so we're going to talk about the power of positivity, and we're going to look at the price of positivity. So about 2.5 months ago, I was planning this trip to Spain, to Moab, and the build-up in going to Spain and to the States, to Moab, was an amazing experience. Put me in a really good space. It was exciting, booking the tickets, booking the Airbnbs, planning the trip to the US, which had 2 legs. Was exciting, and really pulled me into a truly good space. And I had 3 goals with this trip. The one was to spend some more time with my wife, just one-on-one time with her, and we headed out to Spain. We spent some time on one of the islands where we basically had a week of beach, and then headed out to Barcelona, which is an amazing experience for those of you that have been there, and for those of you that haven't been there, it's truly one of those bucket list places to go and check out. The second reason I went was to meet some new amputees, to go and spend some time with amputees. And for this reason, I headed out with 2 friends to the Amputee Coalition in San Antonio, where I had an absolutely amazing time. Energized, being there, a bit apprehensive initially to be with so many different amputees, and it was very overwhelming in the beginning. And Fiddler's Joe and I had a chat about that, and we made a video which at some point, either one or maybe even both of us with our different takes, will post on YouTube, so look out for that. And then the third reason why I went was to go and spend time with myself out in nature, and for the sole purpose of doing photography, and geez, this guinea fowl are loud, but I hope you can hear me, but over the guinea fowl and the birds, but just to go and spend time out in nature with my camera, doing some photography and some filming, and to go and chase after a specific shot I wanted to get, which was out in the canyonlands of Mesa Arch. So this was an overwhelmingly positive experience. I had a clear plan, I knew what I was going to do, and very much looking forward to all of it. So essentially I had 3 goals when I was out in Moab. The one was, as I said earlier, is to spend time with myself, just to reflect on what has been and how things have been going. The other was to take out my camera and to, as I said, get that shot, not only of Mesa Arch, but of the arches, other arches, to do a bit of filming, which video I did post before this one. I'll link it right here. And just to get out in the desert. So I found myself an amazing place to stay with a view over the beautiful mountains in Moab. I rented a Jeep, and every day I just hop in, wake up early to get that beautiful light in the morning for photography, take a drive out to either Arches or to Canyonlands or to Deadell's Point. There's a road called the Potash Road, which leads all the way up to the Schaefer Trail. For those of you that have been there, it is majestic, extra special experience. And yeah, as I said, it was quite spiritual. I got a lot of the photographs that I wanted to get. So I feel in many ways that I achieved my objective, including the time that I could spend reflecting on how the past couple of months had gone and what life was like, just contemplating life as an amputee a little bit. And I think the overwhelming feeling that I got was one of gratitude to be able to live this life, to have the gear that I have, that I can hike with, and to be healthy, to be fit, and then to be able to share it with you guys. It's amazing what a difference YouTube has made to me being an amputee and contributing to my overall sense of well-being, which I think brings a sense of connectedness and the ability to share, which was always going to make me happy. Now, a couple of years ago, I watched a video, like more than a decade ago, of a bunch of guys heading outside Moab to a place called Titan and Ancient Art. And what they did was they climbed up this place and free climbed, and then jumped off the top, did a base jump, and this for me as a like a special meaning almost, because it connects me to what I used to do. That made me very happy, which was paragliding, that ultimately led to me being an amputee today. But you know, standing there and looking up at Ancient Art, and looking up at Titan, these towers, was a very emotional experience, and I actually became quite tearful, and many reasons, but it took me back to a time where I was a very happy person, content with life, of which the paragliding, of course, being out in nature, was a huge part. I feel there are two things we often take for granted. The one being our health, overall health, and the other being time. And they're the two non-renewable resources that we have, that we really, really need to take care of, which is a big part of my life today. So the whole story I've just told you kind of summarizes the power of positivity. Is what positivity done for me is the ability to travel, to want to spend time with family and those close to me, to be curious about life, to go out to learn more about amputee life in the States by attending the Amputee Coalition convention, meeting people like Joe, really fed my sense of positivity. And you know, when you're walking out, when you're hiking out in canyon lands, people tend to come up to you and they go, "What you're doing is quite amazing. It's an inspiration for us. It motivates us to do more." With reference to hiking with the prosthetic leg, and all this kind of feeds into that sense of positivity and gets me to a point where I ignore that life also has certain realities, and sustains the sense that I need to be 100% positive 100% of the time with 100% of the people that I know, and that is not sustainable. That ends up in a crash at some point, and this is what followed. So following the high of being out in Moab, it was time to fly home, and it was a long flight. You know, I had to fly from Moab to Denver, from Denver to San Antonio, from San Antonio to Minneapolis, Minneapolis to Amsterdam, and Amsterdam back to Cape Town. That's a long trip. I mean, I think all in all, with the layovers, it took almost 50 hours, and during that time, I went into quite a dark space. I felt very disconnected from the people around me, almost annoyed and irritated, and I carried that feeling all the way back home. And when I got home, despite my best efforts, I felt really disconnected from the people around me. And at some point, my wife even said to me, "Look, you know, when you're back, when you've landed, when you've truly landed, let us know, because we'd like to have a relationship with you when you're ready to have a relationship with us." So that's pretty hectic if you think about it. It's not the kind of person that I want to be. So I started thinking of what are the things that happened that took me into that dark space, to be able to recognize it in the future and to try and catch it. So what I did was I identified all the aspects of my life that keeps me healthy, connected, and I truly believe that the opposite of being in a dark space or being in a depressed space, and I'm not saying depression is altogether unhealthy. I think it's important to feel those feelings once in a while. It's usually, for me, it's a signal that I'm doing something wrong, and I need to do something differently, or that I'm doing something that I need to stop doing. So I do think there's value in feeling down or feeling a bit of depression, as long as it doesn't become chronic and leads to self-destructive or other destructive behaviors. So I came to the conclusion that there were essentially 6 things that keep me in a healthy space, 6 parts of my life that I really need to take care of. The first is to spend time with my family, to love them, to feel loved by them. and to be able to say to them when I'm struggling that something is missing, and to trust that they'd be able to give me what it is that I need. The second is to be out in nature, to be out in places like this. This connects me to a sense of spirituality and a sense that there's something much bigger out there in life than just me running around planet Earth like a little ant. That despite the insignificance of my existence on this planet, it's quite significant that every single human being is unique, has a unique personality, a unique way of looking at life, and a unique way of connecting with the people around them. The third factor are my peers, other amputees, people that I meet at places like Amputee Coalition, or the people that I speak to from time to time. Being able to do a visit at a hospital to somebody who's just lost their leg or lost a limb, connecting with you guys, with other amputees, certainly does contribute to my overall sense of well-being, and I think gives meaning to the history to having lost my leg. Number 4, friends, and that's a big part of my life that I've neglected over the past couple of months or maybe even years, that I need that sense of connection with my friends and spend time with them. Number 5 would be professional help. It's the sense that I need to trust somebody who knows me, who understands the difficulties that I've been through in the past, to whom I can go and talk for once in a while. And I mean someone like a counselor or a psychologist, or just somebody to check in with who has an objective perspective and experience in the world that we live in, being an amputee. And then the 6th one is doing this channel, is connecting with you guys. YouTube has brought this channel, and YouTube has made a big difference in my life experience over the past year and a half. And essentially, ever since I've changed my prosthetics to what I wear these days, this Rio knee, it's made such a difference to my life experience. And to be able to share this with you guys, being out there hiking, discussing prosthetics, discussing health, doing what I'm doing now, has made a very big difference to how I experience life. And even though it's through social media, having a sense of connectedness out there with you guys is really important to me now. So my message is that there's a lot of power in positivity, but positivity can also come at a price. If there's a pursuit for relentless positivity, I think it's inevitable that at some point there's going to be a part of reality that sets in, that we need to confront, and not just try and walk over it with the ongoing sense that I always need to be positive. It's not sustainable, as I've experienced recently and as I've shared with you guys in this video. So I need to tell you guys, in this time I was running up to 1,000 subscribers, and guys, we crossed the threshold. We've gone over 1,000 subscribers, and I'm really grateful to you all. It's made such a difference to my focus and my commitment to continue this channel. And so I want to thank you guys. We've done what we set out to do in the beginning, which is to hit that 1,000 subscribers. I can hardly believe that just over a year ago that was my goal, and that goal has now been achieved. So thanks guys, I appreciate that. Okay guys, that's my story for today. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so, and I will see you guys on the next one. See ya, ciao.